Scientists on a wording, and if everyone's ready, as we say here in Harambe, Twende, which means let's go. Jambo everyone, I'll be your safari guide today. My name is Jen. If you look over your heads, you'll notice an animal guide that'll help you identify any of the animals that we may come across. Usually we have pretty good luck. I'm going to ask everyone to please remain seated throughout this whole safari. Parents, if you have a child, please keep an eye on them. Make sure they remain seated. Do not lift them up or switch them around. There's no eating on the safari, so if you have any food out, please put it away. And since we're entering into the homes of these animals, let's please be courteous to them. Try not to make too many noises towards them. That's going to scare them away from the truck rather than bring them closer. We've entered little maturing forest. Animals in this region tend to be rather shy. On our left are bongos. Bongos are known to be the ghosts of the forest as they are rarely seen. They're the largest and heaviest of forest antelope. Both male and female bongos have horns that tilt back to help them get through the low underbrush pretty quickly. Many of the animals in this region have stripes or markings on them. That helps them to better camouflage with their natural surroundings. On our right is an okapi. Even though they have stripes, they're not related to the zebra, but to the giraffe. They're so good at hiding that Westerners did not discover them until 1901. It was around that time that researchers found the okapi had the same skull structure and long prehensile tongue as a giraffe. The mothers also have an infrasonic ability, which is beneath human hearing, so they can communicate with their young ones. While up on our right are greater kudu. They're the tallest of forest antelope. While the males are solitary and have horns, females do not have horns and will tend to gather in groups of 3 to 10. Up ahead on our left is a black rhinoceros. Black rhinos have a triangular shaped lip with a prehensile upper lip so they can reach up into trees and higher up bushes to grab leaves. They can weigh about 3,000 pounds, and while they don't have any natural predators, they are endangered by poachers who poach them for their horns made out of keratin, the same material as our hair and nails. Now there are less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the world. Disney helps support conservation programs that keep an eye out on rhino population and help better protect rhinos from poachers. We can also help animals in this region out by using paper responsibly. In doing so, less trees will be cut, which means more forest animals will be able to keep their homes. Using bamboo as an alternative material also helps out, as bamboo is actually a fast-growing plant. It can grow quite a bit in just a few days. It seems there's a truck up ahead having some technical difficulties, so we'll just be here for a few moments. If you're interested in finding any Asian animals today, you can head over to the Maharaja Trail in Asia. There you'll find Sumatran tigers, Komodo dragons, a type of bat, water buffalo. There's also an aviary where you can bird watch there as well. Around the Tree of Life are a few more animals such as tamarins, otters, as well as lesser flamingo.
Where? Right there.
Really close to us now.
I know he's. I wanted to jump into the water and do it.
Yep. He's taking his nap.
You can see those greater kudus again on your right.
They're cute. And I went to
Probably where it got me down. There was an astronaut.
I just got one of them. Really? Yeah.
We'll be nearing the Safi River real soon. So if you notice any shadows lurking beneath the water, it just might be a Nile hippopotamus.
Oh, look at that hippopotamus.
Hippos are able to hold their breath for about 8 minutes at a time. And despite being in water most of the day, they're not big on swimming. They'd much rather drop down to the bottom and walk or glide around. They also have a pair of incisors that can grow to be about 18 inches long, which they use mostly for defense as they are the most territorial, but they are vegetarian. A hippo calf will weigh 80 to 100 pounds, while adults can weigh up to 4,000. Hippo calves will nurse underwater with their mothers, and the females of the boat will help the mother protect the calf. Up ahead are Nile crocodile. They're opportunistic hunters. Rather than going out to look for their meals, they'd much rather lie in wait for something to appear in front of them, whether it be something small or twice their size. Despite having those powerful jaws, the parents are able to roll their eggs around in their mouths very gently as to better encourage their young ones to hatch out faster.
What happened this time?
Before we head into it though, you might notice an odd looking tree up ahead. And that's a baobab, also known as the upside down tree due to its branches looking like roots. Baobabs can be leafless for 9 months out of the year. They're a great resource during times of drought because they tend to hold a lot of water in them. And since their tree trunks hold so much water in them, they're also referred to as the tree of life. Baobabs are pretty important to the Savannah ecosystem. Without them, the animals would lose another source of water during the dry season, which is why conservation groups are keeping an eye out on their number and trying to increase them whenever they can, especially since they've been dwindling in amount recently.
That's hysterical.
On our right, you'll see some termite mounds. Back there, termite mounds are a compilation of mud, saliva, and dung, hardened under the sun to be as hard as concrete. Elephants will use them as a scratch post, while the antelopes will use them to look out for predators. And on our left are African wild dogs, also known as painted dogs. They're one of the most successful hunters out on the savannah. Their success rate is 90%, while a lion's is only 3%. They work together as a pack to chase down their prey until their prey is completely worn out from all that running. You'll also see some Ankole cattle, also known as Watusi cattle, named after the Watusi clan that first domesticated them. Their horns are quite large with many chambers in them, much like a beehive's, to keep them at their regular body temperature throughout the whole year. They're the breed you usually find on ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Many believe they look like longhorns, and that's because longhorns are a descendant of that breed, although Ankoles have much larger horns than longhorns.
That's
They're one of the 2 domesticated animals out on the reserve.
Look at the line behind us. Yeah. Okay, finally get the tow truck in. These people will be over long. I'll be really happy.
On our right is a zebra. Those zebras have a flap of skin under their neck called a dewlap. It helps circulate their blood and keeps them cool. While most hoofstock have a dewlap, those zebras are the only zebras to have them. They're the Hartman's Mountain zebra. When a young zebra is born, they've already got their full-grown legs and they're able to imprint immediately on their mother's stripes, so they know which zebra to stick to. And much like a giraffe's patterns, the zebra stripes are a lot like our fingerprints. There are no two alike. Each pattern and stripe are very unique to itself, which is how we're able to tell all of them apart from each other. There's also springboks. They're the smallest antelopes out on the reserve. They get their name due to their ability to spring up 6 feet into the air if they're alarmed. Despite their small stature, they're also one of the top 10 fastest land animals, running at 50 to 60 miles an hour, which can give a cheetah quite the workout. There's also some Maasai giraffe around. You can tell them apart from reticulated giraffe due to their patterns. Reticulated have a more net-like pattern, while Maasai have a more patchy pattern. When a young giraffe comes into the world, it's with quite a shock. Mothers give birth while standing up, so babies will drop 6 feet to the ground. They're usually up pretty soon though, and standing at 6 to 8 feet tall. They also have very good eyesight. That combined with their long necks help them to see quite far throughout the savannah, including any predators hiding in tall grass. Their necks are their weakest point though, so they try to keep them up as often as they can, whether they're sitting or standing up, which may be a reason why they sleep for about 30 minutes a day. But they're browsers, so they'll spend most of their time eating. Up ahead is an African elephant. African elephants have very large ears with many blood vessels in them, so they can flap those ears around, as well as long trunks that can grow to be about 10 feet long. The herd is comprised of females and children, as males tend to be more solitary. Male elephants will stray away from their herd either alone or in a bachelor group, while the herd is also led by a matriarch, which is usually the oldest female. She'll have all the past knowledge of previous elephants before her, and will try her best to pass that knowledge down to the next generation. Scientists also found that elephants are quite afraid of bees. Since they have such good hearing, they're able to hear the buzzing a lot closer than it is, and it'll spook them. They'll even warn everyone else around to stay clear of the area. So the scientists gave that information over to farmers in Africa, and the farmers were able to set up beehive fences. This kept the elephants safely away from crops, and the farmers also gained a new form of income, which was the honey from the bees. On our right, you'll see some tusk marks in the cliffside. That's because elephants enjoy eating the red clay. It gives them an important source of vitamins they're not able to get much anywhere else. Quite a lot like the multivitamins that many of us eat. They also have very sensitive skin, so if you see them throwing something on their back, such as mud, sand, dirt, or something else of that sort, it's usually as a sunscreen to help better protect themselves from those UV rays.
So when we see them doing that, it's time to take them. That's real.
Elephants are often endangered by poachers who tend to poach them for their ivory tusks. We can help to stop this by trying to buy nothing with ivory in it. In doing so, it should break down the ivory market, which in turn means the poachers would lose their purpose for going after the ivory of both hippos and elephants. You can help support conservation groups by visiting your local zoo or aquarium, or volunteering for those groups to help them out.
I think these are also boats. I think these are amphibious vehicles.
Up next, our greater flamingo, the lighter shade of pink flamingo. They get their pink color from a source known as beta-carotene, found in shrimp and other sea creatures they eat. They're not migratory, they prefer to stay in their same area as long as they have enough food. They will travel at night though if that food runs scarce and they need to find a new watering hole with an abundance of it. When flamingos first hatch out of their eggs, they're not pink already. They do start out as little gray chicks that take about 2 to 3 years to gain their pink color. On our left, you'll see some white rhinos. They were first named by Dutch settlers as white rhino, white meaning wide, due to their large, wide mouths. They're much larger than black rhinos. They can weigh about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds.
There's a baby.
And again, they have no natural predators. They're mostly endangered by poachers who poach them for their horns made out of keratin, the same material as our hair and nails. There are no longer any northern white rhinos, but there are still the southern ones around. Even though they're called black rhinos and white rhinos, they're still both gray. The only real difference is their size and their shape of lip. And if you see a rhino rolling around or covered in mud, that's not only as a sunscreen, but also as a bug repellent to help keep the bugs off of them. While over on our left are cheetahs. Cheetahs are the fastest mammals. They can run at 60 miles an hour in just 3 seconds.
There they are. They're up
They can only keep that speed up for a few hundred yards before it wears them out, and they need to take a nice rest before going at it again. Cheetahs are also one of the few big cats that hunt during the day, since they rely more on speed rather than strength like other big cats use. They also have a long black streak under their eyes that helps to deter the sunlight away from them. While up ahead are Kopi rocks. That's a rock formation that happens out on the Savannah. Usually predatory animals will make it their home and use it to scan the area for prey. Looks like there's an ostrich coming by us. On our left are lions. Male lions are the ones with the mane of hair around their neck. Females don't have that. Instead, the lioness is known to be the hunters of the prey. While the lioness is out hunting for food, male lions will stay behind to guard their homes and young ones. Lions sleep for about 18 to 20 hours in a day.
That's like you.
During the day, their vision is quite a lot like our own. But come nighttime, their eyesight will become 6 times greater.
But during the night, their eyesight is 6 times better. And they're regular.
On our left are warthogs. Warthogs are known to be the recyclers of the savannah. They'll take up any empty or abandoned burrows as their new home and back up into those burrows with their tusks pointed out as a way to better protect themselves from any predators. While over on our right, you might notice those ostriches again, as well as some ostrich eggs. Ostriches are the tallest bird. They're flightless, but speedy runners. Many believe they stick their head in the ground, but that's not completely true. They simply lay their heads close to the ground, so it does appear that way sometimes. And they do so in order to hide from any danger that they might feel is in the area. An ostrich egg will weigh about 24 chicken eggs. And they're pretty hard-shelled too, because if a human were to stand on an ostrich egg, they would not even crack. Looks like we're nearing the warden's post. The warden moved down here to be closer to the animals as a way to better protect them from poachers. And if we take a closer look at the post, there are Nigerian dwarf goats. They're rudimentary, which means they have a pot belly because their stomach has 4 chambers to it to better break down food, much like the okapi and giraffe. They're quite playful. They like to chase, butt heads, and climb as a way to show they're maturing. They can also make pretty great pets since they don't take up too much space. And they'll help pastures out by eating the weedy, grassy areas other animals tend to not eat. The dwarfs also provide a great resource, being their goat cheese and sweet milk, which is why villagers keep them very well protected on their property, as it also keeps the villagers from having to go into animal territory for things such as clearing more land for crops or other sources of income. And in turn, the animals out in the wild will be able to keep more of their habitats as they are, which makes it a great symbiotic relationship between humans and animals so far. If you have an animal that you like or a favorite one, you can help them out by donating to the Disney Conservation Fund or any other wildlife fund to help better protect the animals out in the wild. There are also non-monetary ways to help out, such as reusing and recycling items, joining in on a beach or a river cleanup, or planting plants in your backyard that will help the wildlife in your area. That's just to name a few of them, though. You can talk to the villagers out in Harambe Village for more tips and tricks on how to better conserve and help out wildlife. Once again, if there are any wilderness explorers on board, you are riding on Simba 1. That's Simba as in the Swahili word for lion, S-I-M-B-A, and the number 1. And here in Harambe, we like to say Kwaherini. Kwaherini means farewell in Swahili. Go ahead and double check your rows, make sure nothing fell out of any bags or pockets. It is a long way back to Africa after all. And those of you on the right, please watch your hands, feet, legs, and arms as those doors are opening. Firing everyone, enjoy the rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom.